This video will show you how to onboard a client into the basic level of online divorce lawyer. What we're looking at here is the client login portal, and what will have typically happened to get us to this point is that your target client has seen your marketing outreach, whether that's a paid ad, an organic ad, your profile on Avo, a webinar, a PDF, a video, whatever the case may be. They have found you, they have called you or filled in your web form. You have made contact with the client by phone or Zoom. You have provided a 15-minute case strategy session. You pretty much know what's involved in the case. You have provided the client with information about the various flat fee, unbundled packages that you offer for uncontested divorce. She has selected one of those packages, most typically, of course, the lowest fee. That package is likely to be a document preparation, document review, maybe with that 15-minute case strategy session. Perhaps does not even have filing of documents at court or service of process included in the package. But you've made the client well informed, and she will understand the events that will trigger any type of ethical upselling to other packages such as Quadro, requests for orders, or whatever, anything that you could conceive as being involved in an uncontested divorce package. But she signed up for the basic package, the get him in the door package, if you will. She has paid, and you are now ready to onboard this client so that she will receive an account opening email, can log in, and begin to complete the online secure interview from the comfort of her home. We're not going to log in here right now. I will come back to this shortly. Put your cursor over the footer. You'll see that it's a link. You click on that link. That'll take you to the lawyer login portal. This is the page that you would most likely want to bookmark. You'll be coming back to this page many times, both to download client documents in either batch or single document mode, or to access the control panel, which is your bird's eye view of the whole case and the case tracking system. So right now we're not doing that. I promise I'll come back and do that shortly, but right now we're going to drop to the footer once again, and it's a link. You click on the link and it brings you to your account creation page. The first entry here is hardwired to petitioner, but ODL is good for respondent uncontested cases also. Right now linked accounts don't work. This is going to be an e-divorce mediation system that I've just begun to work on. Hopefully that'll be ready in a couple of months. So right now we're going to leave that as petitioner. This fake attorney account has a password, a lawyer password of Bill123. You'll probably want a more secure password yourself. Then you assign your client's password. You control all access to the client's account. This would be the client's email, so I'm going to pick my personal email there. This last entry indicates whether this will be a pro se case or there will be full representation. It defaults to no, which is pro se. If you are going to be the attorney of record, just click yes. We're going to leave it at no right now. You can change that later on in the control panel. Create your client's account. And so you can see that the user ID is 32293. I've made the client's password the word password, so you probably want something more secure. This fake attorney's email address is that. and the client's email address is that. Let me show you what that looks like. Here is the client's account opening email. Your logo up here, client's user ID, the password that was selected, and a link right here to go to the client login portal. If you drop extreme lower left on my screen right now, you'll see that that's the URL of the client login portal that we just left. No email goes to the client that does not also go to you. That was sent to Peter O at 1-800-divorce.com, so I'll show you what that looks like. That is your identical copy of the client's account opening email, and then that is your version of the same account opening email. We're going to go back right now to the client login portal, but we're not going to log into the account we just created because, of course, that's a blank account. So I'm going to show you a sandbox account, not a real person, of course. 29167 is the user ID. The password is the word guest, G-U-E-S-T, all small case. That's what the client will see when she logs in. On her first login, by the way, that link will say begin interview, so she'd click on the begin interview link and it would take her to the first page of the interview. The interview is secure and encrypted. It can be completed in multiple sessions. Everything that's entered is securely saved and encrypted on our server, and it will be there when your client returns. So let's take a look at the first page of the interview to give you some idea what that looks like. Always a welcome message up here, and different data, of course, requested on each page. That gives you some idea. Every time a client completes an interview page, an X, little check mark, is put in that box next to the page that's just being completed. Navigation in the interview is done one of two ways. You can either click on the top or bottom, there are two on each page, next buttons, and that will simply move you to the next sequential page. What it also does before it moves you to that next sequential page is it checks all of your answers on the prior page. Had there been something missing, then it would have told you what it was. You'd get a little error, red error message, and you can either fix it at that point or you can click on the next button a second time and it will take you to the next sequential interview page. So if you can't remember, for example, your spouse's home zip code, it doesn't hold you up. It allows you to proceed, and then when you log in the next time, the respondent's address page would not have a check mark in the box. You would click continue interview, and if that is the first page that needs attention, it would take you directly there. So it allows you to jump around as much as possible. Most clients do. The second available navigation methodology is somewhat obvious, of course. You just click on the page that you want to go to. So let's say you want to change something on your My Employment page. You click directly and go directly to that page. Make whatever changes are needed there. On every interview page, you will have a built-in help system. On this particular page, the help system is just a helper video. For some reason, this is quite a difficult page for many people, so we've put in a little cartoon-based helper video, and we've done that on every page where there may be some questions. I want to show you also, here are the help icons. I would guess that every page has probably 5 or 6 of these helper icons, which you can click on and open up a context-sensitive alert or help item. Okay, let's see. You can see from looking at the boxes next to each interview page that this client is basically ready to proceed. Back on that first welcome page, it told her when you're done, click on the check interview. So she would click on check interview. Three things happen. It checks to make sure that all of the interview pages are complete. We pretty much knew that they were. It checks here for any time-critical issues. There are none. And then here it checks to make sure that certain critical answers are still accurate and synced with the interview. She would check each of those that remains accurate, proceed to attorney document review, and as she is reading this, telling her that you've been activated, you're getting an email to tell you, hey, the client with such and such a user ID has completed the interview and is ready for you to download, do a document review, and get in touch in conjunction with whatever terms of service you've agreed to in that unbundled package. Let's see. Let's go to now the lawyer login page. You'll know it's the lawyer login page because there are two options. You can log in to download, batch, or single document mode, or you can log into the control panel, which gives you a bird's eye view of the case. 29167 is the user ID. Lawyer password this time, so that's Bill 123. Let's show you first the control panel. Okay, so this is the control panel in this case. Here are your private notes here. The client never sees those. Here are general instructions from the client, and here are property debt instructions from the client. Critical data is all laid out here. Fairly self-explanatory. There's a legend lower right that tells you the code numbers that are used in various locations. Built-in child support calculator right here, but also a child support guideline what-if function. Let's say that you wanted to know what would happen to that 518 guideline figure if your petitioner client's net monthly went to 2,000. So you change that there, click the compute, and it tells you here that the guideline would have dropped from 518, which remains here static, to 356. This number here is not saved anywhere. The number that's saved is the 518 until you were to go back to the income page of the interview, which you can do with one click here and make appropriate adjustments to the incomes. Let me see. You'll remember back at the lawyer login page, I told you I'd come back and we'd log in to the download panel. Well, if you either logged into the download panel from that lawyer login page, or if you click that button, you would go to the same page. So I'll show you the download panel from this perspective. Just click on Go to Download. And here is the download panel. You have access here also to the interview again if you need that. But this is mostly for downloads. You can download either from that link, particularly if you're going to do single document downloads. Let me show you how that works. Let's say that you have downloaded the first batch of documents and you tipped coffee on the petition, or the dog ate it. There's the petition. Every document is fully customizable. This is a parenting request attachment. Let's say you see something here that you don't like. Let's say you don't like that particular request. If you tell us what you don't like, what you'd rather see or not see, everything here is customizable, and we can make it suit whatever your firm's requirements are. Okay, let's go back. I want to show you Return to welcome. I want to show you batch download. Um, I'll show you a default judgment batch download. Now, clearly, for such a batch to be ready for filing, it would have to have the case number and it would have to have the jurisdiction date, neither of which are here. You can enter them here and save right here, but the system does not prevent you from downloading that third batch in advance to check it over, to review it, without having to have the case number in hand. So the system is pliable, in other words. You could either download the third batch or any other batch from right here, or perhaps more convenient, just go to this drop-down box here, select that. You can download 3 copies of each document suitable for physical filing over the counter, or 1 copy of each document suitable for e-signing and e-filing. I'll demonstrate that. And that's pretty much as fast as it usually is. Depends a little bit on your internet speed, but it's 2 or 3 seconds for a 34-page download. I won't spend too much time. I'll show you a few of these, but I won't spend too much time here because you can come back after watching this video and log into this Sandbox account. User ID 29167, password guest, GUEST, all small case, and you can take a closer look at that. This is the full, default and judgment batch. Everything is there, and all completed, ready for the client's signature and filing. All right, there's one other thing I want to show you, and that is the marital settlement agreement. All ODL documents are downloaded in the popular Adobe PDF format. Everybody, I think, is familiar with that, except for the marital settlement agreement and or stipulated judgment. They are downloadable in the even more popular Microsoft Word, so that they are fully editable. Marital settlement agreements are they're generated to the finished product maybe 1 out of 3 times. Typically there will be some adjustments that you have to make. I don't really know what's involved in this case. And you will see, looks like unfortunately this case actually is one that's pretty much done. No custom drafting is required, but you will often see that the client will have left out a vehicle license number or a legal description of a piece of real estate or something like that. And let's face it, sometimes there are clauses that just really can't be computer coded. They are custom drafting situations where you're going to have to go in here and spend 10 or 20 minutes making that final MSA as it should be. Okay, that's everything on my list. I hope that this has given you an idea of the power and the convenience of the online divorce lawyer system. If you have any questions, please give me a shout at 1-800-738-3764, which is 1-800-PETER-O. That's Peter O-H, or Peter O-H at Online Divorce Lawyer. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching.